Hi. So we're going to do a variation on the mobilization sequence. So this one can be done sitting. So you can do it in your office chair, or if you don't want to get on the floor. So we're going to start from the crown of the head and just do a little gentle nod of the chin. So your chin comes towards your throat. Make sure your nose comes along with, and back up. So you're turning the whole skull, like spinning on top of that first vertebrae. And again. Now going to the diagonal, so imagine that eyeball in the top of your head is looking down to your right low diagonal, and then it's going up to your left high diagonal. So you create this long arc with your neck, and just only move as much as you feel you need to, don't overdo it. Just modify the range of motion to what's comfortable for you. And then center the head, and now going the other way. Down to the corner, and then up, and down. So your arc is going this way. Down, and up, and down, and then up. Good. Reach your arms in front of you now, and just squeeze your shoulder blades back towards each other, and then forwards. So you get a little movement through the shoulder girdle. So bringing the shoulder blades towards your spine and then away. And relax the arms down. And then just slide the shoulders up and down. And up and down. So just feel the collarbones get narrower and wider, narrower and wider. All right, so now bringing the shoulder blades forwards and up. And then backwards and down, forwards and up, backwards and down. So your arc is coming in this way and down the back. One more, and back. Good, now we're going to reverse that. So you're going to go backwards to go up, forwards to come down. So the arc is going in the opposite direction now, coming down in the front. Two of those. And one. Nice. Now take the right hand, the thumb side, across to the opposite hip, and then away from the opposite hip. So you're using your shoulder joint. Palm down as it goes across and away. And the head patterns actually go with this quite nicely, so you can do them both together. Save some time. And up. And then switch to the other side. Palm down on the way across. Palm up on the way out, down, and up, down, and up. Last time, and up. Good. So I'm just move this out from under my feet. My chair's a little too tall for me. So now you're going to come, so you have one cheek on the chair and one cheek off. And you're thinking about the point of your hip that's in the front and the sitting bone that's underneath. So those are our 2 points we're going to move from. So you're going to take this hip bone in the direction of the opposite shoulder, so like across the torso, and then the sit bone away from that. So across the front and away. Now make sure that the movement does come from the pelvis and not from the leg. The leg can join in, that's fine, but initiate with those trunk muscles. Now on the other side. So hip bone and sit bone, pulling across the front and then away. So this line gets shorter and then longer. Cross and away, and cross and away. Back to the other side. So the reverse of that is a little trickier. So the dimply part of the lower back, you have those 2 little notches, and then the hip socket, so right in where the leg fits into the torso. So you're going to take that little dimple part backwards, so to really scoop in the front, and pull it in the direction of your opposite shoulder. So this is my right side going up to my left, and then the hip coming forward and away. So this is the arc. You're wrapping your pelvis around your midline. And out. And again, initiate from the hips, but allow the leg to join in. So onto the other side. So that little dimple and the hip socket. So Scoop in to pull it across, reaching forward. Scoop it back and forward. So there's your up, pulling back, reaching forward, and again. And forward, good. Come back to this side, we'll just do some little leg stretches while we're here. So straighten out your right leg, and make sure you're only going to move from your hip joint. So the whole spine is going to tip forward. Find your stretch, and then come back. And again, so just find the stretch moving all the way through your spine without rounding. And you should get a stretch in your hamstrings. And if you flex your foot, you'll get a stretch through the calves as well. One more time there. Let's stay on this side and do this one. So cross the ankle over the knee. Same thing, moving the whole spine as one thing to get your stretch. So feel the sit bones reach away from your head. So this will give you a little stretch around your bum and possibly your hamstrings too, depending on where your tightness is. And again. And then you're going to keep one cheek on the seat and take one off and straighten that leg behind you. And then try and do a pelvic tilt. So round your lower back and lengthen away. Scoop under and away. So you're shortening the front, lengthening the back, and pulling the hip bone away from the thigh bone. And again, pull them apart. All right, so let's go to the other side. Let's move that a little bit. So, other leg now in front, moving only at the hip. Just hinge forward and come back up. And hinge it forwards. So feel that whole line, head to tail, almost like it's one piece that can't bend. And again. And now take that foot across. So the ankle is over the knee, lifting tall, and hinge forward, allow the thigh to open. And keep that wrapping around. And don't force the knee, right? Think about the thigh rotating in the socket. And again. And now reach that leg out the back. One cheek on, one cheek off. And then try to tuck on this side. So pull the hip bone up away from the thigh bone and then back. Away. And you can tell differences between the two sides. This is my much tighter side. Get a lot less movement here through my hip. Alright, so let me just slide this back in. And let's just mobilize the feet a little bit. So just lifting the heels up. Lift the heels up. Lift the toes up. Heels up. Toes up. Heels. Toes. Heels. Toes. Now, lift all of the toes and try and fan them down like pinky to big toe. Lift them up, fan them down, and lift up, and just fan them down once more, and good. And now, when you try and go the other way, lift up, this is really hard for me, big toe to little toe, lift up, it's good for your brain, and again, one more. And then you're going to try and move this row of bones. So where your toes end and the rest of your foot begins is the ends of these long bones of your feet. So keeping your toes long, I'll do it with my hands. So it's kind of like doing this with your hand, where you keep your fingers long and you just flex there. So you're going to try and do that with your feet. Keep the toes long and just feel that joint be lifted up. All those joints up and up. Good. All right, so now moving around to the side or the front of your chair, and we'll just do a little stretch to finish this up. So hands on the chair, and you're going to bend your knees so you have a nice flat back. Abdominals pulled in. And then tuck your tail under and round your spine and straighten your knees as much as you can. And then flatten out as you bend your knees. Scoop. You could do this holding the back of a chair if you didn't want to go so big. And back. Remember, you're moving your tail, so you don't want to get this sort of buffalo look in your back. Move the tail under. And lengthen. Tail moves as you stretch your knees and bend them as you lengthen. Head and tail trying to move equally. Out. 2 more. And away. And 1. And away. And then bring your hands to your legs and just stand up to finish. Okay, all set.